this year. And so in emptiness Dharmata, this has to do with tricture, relaxing, and with senses open, not restrained.
Making contact with their objects. Yep.
And we would describe this as sort of a shamatara as well?
No.
Or not? This is
No, because it's informed by the view.
Yeah. Okay. So this is
So they say Tekchot is the
Tekchot.
view.
Yeah.
And then Togol is the meditation.
Yeah.
Of course, Togol I don't really want to talk about very much, mostly because it causes people to, go into violent flights of fantasy about the practice. But here we can say that basically, when we're talking about Chunin Ninsum, we're talking about,
which is the second one.
The second one. We're talking about actually having a direct experience of your own Buddha nature. Is the simplest way to put it.
So now we entered.
But it's sort of visually based.
Okay. Yeah. So now we've entered the visions. So,
right. So the reason why we don't want to go into this is the whole point of why we deviated into samsara in the first place, from a Dzogchen point of view, is because when our mind first experienced itself, it had two choices. It could either recognize the object of its experience as being its own state, or if it reified its experience as being an other, and even did so much as say, oh, this is originally pure. Even if it did that much, this automatically is a deviation. And then you automatically enter into what's known as from the innate ignorance, which is where we have a connate ignorance. I'm sorry. It's called connate, not innate. It's the same term, len chike maripa, but it's called connate because two things are arising.
Sahaja.
I don't think so.
Really?
There's a subject, and there seems to be an object. There's the mind and its experience. And it seems that that's two things. But Samantabhadra, according to the sort of narrative, recognized that experience as being his own state, or her own state, or their own state. I don't know. Pick your pronoun. And achieved Buddhahood without without engaging in a single moment of virtue. We, on the other hand, entered the imputing ignorance because disappearance. We said, oh, that's other. That's not me. I'm over here. That's over there. And so then we entered into delusion. So it's not the case that Samantabhadra was never ignorant. It's the case that Samantabhadra never entered into delusion. And this is a very important point for understanding Dzogchen teachings in general. Very important point. And so that's why Dzogchen teachings claim that if you are capable of recognizing this experience of yourself as your own experience in a very precise way, you can wake up instantly, just like picking fruit off of a tree, and there's no need to practice two accumulations and everything, but there's a caveat. The caveat is that until you actually have this discovery, then probably, since we're all subject to karma and affliction, it's probably a little better for you if you continue to engage in sort of two accumulation style practices. But once you have firm, confident knowledge of this kind of teaching, even if you can't practice it very much in this life, it says in the Dzogchen Tantras that there's not a single person who enters into this teaching for whom Buddhahood is not a certainty. So there's like in some other teachings, it's like, oh, you better practice, you better do this, you better do that, because you just don't know in your next life, you could wind up in like being like, sort of a worm in the bottom of a pile of manure. You just don't know. You have no idea what karma's coming down the pike for you. In Dzogchen teachings, it says, listen, if you have this one piece of knowledge, if you have this one piece of certainty based on your own direct perception, then for you, samsara is closed forever. This is the promise of Dzogchen teachings.
So we're talking about the Dharmata of emptiness here, or the direct Dharmata?
Dharmata of direct perception, but also Dharmata of, so the thing is that if you cultivate Dharmata shunyata in a proper way, according to Dzogchen teachings, you will eventually encounter Dharmata pratyaksha. If you encounter Dharmata pratyaksha in a proper way, you will eventually encounter Dharmata shunyata as a direct perception.
But is there another way of saying this? Is if you practice tricture, you'll automatically encounter Togol practice, or is it different?
You'll encounter what we call the visions of Togol in reverse.
In reverse, okay.
in a different way.
Yeah.
But yes, you will have this kind of similar. The only difference between the two is that one leads to the sort of the Rupakaya. Togal supposedly gives you the Rupakaya sort of result, whereas Tekchot only gives you the Dharmakaya result. But on the other hand, we say that all the Kayas don't exist in the result anyway. So this is
Yeah, that's what I was going to pick you up on. You said Dharmakaya result.
It just means you can't get rainbow body through practicing Tekchot. What you get in Tekchot is that, you know, your body disappears. If you achieve Buddhahood in this life through practicing Tekchot, they say that your body will vanish.
Yeah.
Now, I personally have never experienced this, so I can't really speak to it. Still here, they say sometimes that Dzogchen yogis leave a little bit of their finger, you know, sort of to connect them, you know, but no, I'm still here, all of me,
yeah,
you know, corporal, afflicted, karmic, you know, messy, human.
Yeah.